Something more?
Yeah, I have one more question. And you introduced it when you said you get your money's worth. I feel very worthy. I am a good person, and it's not that I don't feel self-worth. But I have a hard time accepting money from people for things that I feel were given to me that I didn't pay for. I know I'm the one being resistant. Okay, so
there's so much to talk about relative to this. One of the practical points of view around that is that Jerry and Esther, when they first began this work, they met us in 1985. And Esther made Jerry promise that he wouldn't tell anyone because she just thought it was weird. And he kept his promise for a short while. And then things sort of got out of hand. And so they sat with us, Jerry asking the questions, wanting to know what to do about that. Because, first of all, there's a lot involved in moving from place to place and getting things the way you want them. But also, they wanted to know what was an appropriate amount to ask for. And we said to them, it doesn't need to be this way, but in your economic world, it is this way. Most people expect value according to what they've paid. And so you want to set your price at a place that makes them expect value, but not so far that it produces hardship or prevents anyone from coming. So Jerry set out to create a series of things that cost nothing. And then he set out to create a series of things that cost very little. He always said, you can buy a book for $15 and everything that Abraham ever has to say is in this one book. You don't need all 10 books, because Abraham says the same thing over and over again. The laws of the universe don't change. Clever ways of explaining it to you do. And as your experience evolves, then we do get broader and deeper, but really. And so it's not so much, if you are looking at it the way we were helping them to see it, it's not so much about what's happening to you. It's about what's happening to them. What is most likely to put most people in the place of receiving the most that they can receive. And so Jerry's always very fair-minded. He wanted to make sure that it was equal opportunity to anyone who wanted to come. He didn't ever want anybody to save any seats for anyone. He didn't want there ever to be any advantages over one. And we explained to him on many occasions that the law of attraction is always fair. In other words, as you look out into the world, you often see things that do not appear to be even. But law of attraction is always fair, meaning that whatever it is you're offering is always coming back to you. And so we don't think that this is a subject of worthiness so much as it is a subject of, it's easy to respond to how others are feeling. Someone may want very much something that you have to offer and not right now have whatever it is that you are asking for them to give you in exchange for it. But if you then say to them, well, therefore it will be a different price for you, or therefore there will be no price for you, there's another message that you're giving to them which says, I do for you what I see you cannot do for yourself, which is a message of disempowerment that is not in alignment with what your inner being knows to be. So what we encourage you to do is to feel around until you find something that sits well with you, which means your inner being is resonating with it. And then don't listen too much to the others. Esther gets letters every day that say to her, you know, you charge less than anybody else doing this kind of work. And Esther says, I'm fine with this. And Esther gets letters from people that say, you know, you charge so much that I can't come. There are so many people that have so many opinions about each and everything that you will ever do, that if you get yourself all twirled up in trying to be the path of least resistance for them, right, then you'll get your eye off your ball and you will forget who you are, and then you'll have stress in your vibration and your point of attraction will be negatively impacted. And so
Oh, I get that.
We're
It's so totally.
teasing yesterday. We said we think you should call Facebook Nosebook, because you've become a world that sort of has your nose in what's going on with everyone, and it doesn't serve you unless you're really solid in your alignment, because it's really easy to let whatever it is that you're giving your attention to be the reason that you are offering the vibration that you're offering, and then your point of attraction is affected by default. Helpful?
Wonderful. Can I tell you one fast story? Okay, so I didn't have the money to come here.
Really?
Nope, no kidding. And you came onto my phone. I listened to a meditation. You popped on my phone. I was like, oh, Abraham, someone gave me your CD years ago, probably right after you first started, and said, you might be interested in this. And I listened.
If it was right after we first started,
Yeah,
it was a
like
cassette.
on a CD. Oh, yeah, and it might have been a cassette, actually. It could have been a cassette. And they said, you might really enjoy this, you know. Well, I listened in the attraction thing, and I lost it. Okay. Many years later now, 2 months ago, I'm listening to my meditation. I go to put it in, and you're on YouTube. And I'm like, oh, there's that Abraham. So I started to listen.
Do you know that you could have sat in a day on YouTube and received more information than you will ever receive in a day like this, and it will cost you nothing?
Yes, and do you know that you spoke to every issue? I'm telling you, like, what I'm saying is that you came to me.
What you're saying is, I was in a vibrational place where I attracted to you exactly what I was asking for, because I was in a state of non-resistance, and so it
Yes.
happened instantaneously.
Instantaneously.
And then I showed up in a room with hundreds of people, and first crack out of the box, I was called forward for the same reason.
Yes. And the money thing. So the money thing, I did not have the money to come. I was like, I'm going to see Esther. I saw that you were coming. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to get the money, but I'm going to see her. I'm going to see Abraham. I just can't wait.
Power in decision, isn't there?
Made a decision that I was going. I didn't know where the money was going to come from, but I didn't care. I'm telling my cousins about, we were on a walk on a path, and I'm telling her about Abraham and low vibration, high vibration. I'm explaining some of the things that I learned. As I'm saying it, I looked down, I said, oh, wait a minute, what's that? I walked back, and under some leaves, there's an earring. I go, oh my gosh, look at this, an earring. So I started to scrape it, and I go, wow, that looks like it could be a diamond. And she looked at it, and she goes, oh, it's probably a CZ, you know. I said, yeah, but wouldn't it be funny that if this was a diamond, this would be a demonstration of exactly what I'm telling you? It was a real diamond worth $9,000. So, what I was so excited about was not so much the money, but I was aligned. It was like, this is what I've been asking for, and my truest desire is to be aligned with that of which you've been teaching us, that inner source, which...
And if we were to stop talking right now, and you were to only hear that story forevermore, that would be all you would ever need to know about what we teach.
Ever.
Really good. Really good.